So, our featured artist today is Sandra Warne, and she's going to come up and talk about this wonderful painting and what it means to her. Please, Sandra. Well, put your hands together and welcome to Sax Hill Talks. Sandra, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm actually getting to be happy to be here. Yesterday I got a call from my good friend Anne, and she said, I'm doing a talk over at Soul Talk, would you like to come by? And I thought, well, I'm busy. I got a lot to do. I'm getting ready to go out of town. I don't know what time. She said, well, about 1 o'clock. And I said, well, maybe I can come by and hear you talk. And then she said, and can you bring a painting? And would you mind explaining what that painting means to you? And I've never talked about my painting. It means a lot to me. It has significance, but I've never talked to anybody about it. And so I thought, oh boy, I better scribble down some notes on how to do this. And then when I got here, one of the handsome hosts said to me, and I think it's RJ, he said, oh, and can you talk about choices too? So here I am, kind of fluid in the moment. I am a Myers-Briggs J, if any of you know what the Myers-Briggs temperaments are, which means need to plan, need to know what's going to happen, need to have it ready. Well, none of that's happening, so I'm doing the best I can here in the moment. And my occupation is psychotherapist, but I am semi-retired. Speaking of choices, I'm an artist, and I've chosen to be an artist as well, but never as a living particularly, but it just seems I have sold some work anyway, and usually donate the funds to something that means something to me. But when I picked it, and when also, I'm a marriage and family therapist, an artist, and I was actually a buyer for Macy's in the 80s. So that's another choice I made, because I like to design things. And back in the 80s, you drew drawings, and then they put you on a plane. You say, what country would you like to make this? And you'd go to that country, and they would make your drawing. And that was those were the magical days of Macy's. Those have been long, long gone. So when the magic went away, I left and studied to become a psychotherapist. Makes sense, right? Anyway, I want to talk about my painting. And I brought what I call rainbow ghost riders. Now, when I was a little girl, Johnny Cash wrote a song called Ghost Riders in the Sky. Is anybody old enough to remember that here? I mean, whether you're old enough or not, it's almost a neonatal song because everybody seems to know it somehow. It's like Lucky Old Sun, it's just one of those songs. So I was a little girl. I loved Johnny Cash's song and Ghost Riders in the Sky, but it was very haunting to me. It does have some haunting lyrics to it, like, their brands were still on fire and their hooves were made of steel. Kind of scary for a little kid, makes the images pop up that are a little frightening. And not only that, but a bolt of fear went through them as they thundered through the sky. They saw the riders coming and they heard the mournful cries. Ghost riders in the sky. Thank you. I was so scared of that part. So this brought up very strong images. Well, I was lucky enough to have horses growing up as a child. Very, very lucky. And I have one now. Again, I always think we should return to what we love as children. I used to draw and write stories about my adventures. But when it came to semi-retirement, I thought, okay, now what am I going to do? I still work, by the way, because I can't not, but I don't work full-time, certainly. And I've taken my work out to the pasture, and I'm doing a little equine therapy with my horse, one of my horses. But anyway, I was lucky enough to get a horse, and I've always known how soulful horses are. I don't know about the rest of you and those that have had horses, if you understand the soulful nature of them, that they're a universal symbol of freedom without restraint, really. Riding a horse frees you from any bindings that you may have. The horse signifies overcoming obstacles and how you should carry yourself in the face of adversity. The horse has been a symbol throughout history of strength, but you know what else? Horses are vulnerable. Horses are not predators. Did you all know that? They're prey animals. So they're vulnerable, huge monsters, not monstrous, but size of monstrous creatures. And they remind you to take care of your emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. They're a very, very powerful symbol, but they're a very gentle animal. On June 12th, 2016, a brazenly craven person entered a nightclub in Orlando, Florida. Opened fire on a group of individuals who were dancing freely, loving freely, and feeling freedom, having overcome much adversity in their own lives. Suddenly, bullets ripped through the people, through them, bolts of fear and pain like brands on fire. 49 loving souls vanquished to death. 53 beings were wounded and scarred for life. This affected me greatly. It was a very black day in history, but I wasn't going to let it inspire a black and dark painting, which is what I first felt, was black and red and anger and outrage and sadness. But instead I remembered that because even in death, passionate, colorful souls will rise, riding on forever as the essence of freedom without restraint, with fearless love, and therefore, in the honor of those people who died, in memory of those people that died, are rainbow ghost riders.